Yeah, it's one of the reasons that we do this is not just for the Bell crew, but for all the World War II veterans. And Charlie Erickson was a flight engineer, top turret gunner during World War II. He was 19 years old, and he was going out on his 31st combat mission. Now, at 19, you can't drink, legally, and you can't vote, but you can go get shot at. And he had been with that crew for 31 missions. That's the time when they had long-range fighter protection, so they their mission requirements was up to 35. So on his 31st mission, they were coming out of Italy, going up through the Brenner Pass into Germany. When the groups were recalled, the mission was scrubbed. A recall order went out, but Charlie's group never got the recall order, so they pressed on to the target. When they got there, there's no fighter protection. There's the other bomber formations are not there, so they don't know what's going on. So they got hit by over 200 German aircraft at the time when they hit the target, and they had 26 airplanes in the group, and 16 of them were shot down within about a minute and a half. Charlie's was one of the first. It took a rocket in the nose of his airplane. He was up in the top turret tracking some fighters that were coming in when he felt the explosion, and he knew they were pretty seriously hurt. So his turret caught fire, so he came down out of the turret, fell down into the walkway leading up to the bombardier compartment, and he knew he had to bail out. Now, he didn't have a parachute on because it was too cumbersome. It was back by the bomb bay, so he had to get back to the bomb bay to get his chute. And he looked up into the cockpit. The pilot and the co-pilot were dead, and the plane pitched nose down, started into a spiral, and if it gets into a spin in an airplane that big in flight, you get centrifugal force will pin you to the side of the airplane. You can't get out. So he was trying to crawl his way back to the bomb bay to get his chute. When it pitched nose down some more, it threw him into the nose compartment and out the front because the nose dome was gone. He fell out of the front of the airplane at 23,000 feet with no parachute on. So he was falling. He said he figures he fell about 1,000 feet, and he got hit in the chest by something. He looked down to see what had hit him, and it was a parachute. So he was able to grab onto it, get it strapped onto his harness. He got it deployed, and he was captured by the Germans when he landed, and he was a prisoner for 11 months, and he was the only survivor out of that airplane. And as they kept him in a little shack, and the next morning, when the German lieutenants come and got him and wanted him to identify two bodies that they had found in a field, and it was the body of the navigator and bombardier who were blown out at the front of the airplane with no parachute on. So he figures when he rolled out the front of that airplane, the little hook clip on the parachute harness had snagged on his flight suit, and he dragged the chute out of the airplane with him, and he didn't know it until it hit him, and then he was able to strap it on. So he lives in Oklahoma City, and he hasn't missed a day of church since that day. So he said somebody was looking out for him.